Okay, we're in Prepar3D. We're in the Lancair Legacy, so let's have a look outside and see what this aeroplane looks like. Very nice. And we're at Launceston in Tasmania. It's early in the morning. We've got the Orbex space scenery, the vectors, and we've got active sky providing the realistic weather for the time of day. You can see it's a misty early morning. So let's go inside the airplane and see what we need to do. So the power is already on, avionics is on, strobe lights is on, nav lights is on, landing lights are off, panel lights are on, fuel boost is off, pitot heat is, I'm going to put that on, and speed brakes is off. So let's start the engine. Okay, engine is running. So let's have a look around. So the runway is behind us, so we will turn left onto the runway. Actually, can we see a windsock from here? I'm not sure that we can. There's no windsock nearby, is there? Okay, we're just gonna... It's a very fast aeroplane anyway. Okay, so those lights are projecting above the line, which is a bit disconcerting. Bit of a bug there. That's the runway. Okay, that's not helpful. Apparently that label is in the middle of the taxiway, which is great. Okay. I wonder what's causing that. Is it something I've configured? I'm not sure. Let's see. So rotate. Gear up. There's the airfield going past. I think it's just trying to simulate the morning mist, isn't it? Pretty unsuccessfully. It's a misty, foggy morning. Keep an eye on the artificial horizon while we make our turn. If we go for a bit more altitude, probably climb out of the mist. Going up to 2,000 feet, sorry. Two and a half thousand feet. Oh, this is interesting. $3,000 feet. And we're out of the cloud. Or the mist, I should say. So this is going to be interesting. How on earth are we going to land? We've got nav radios on here though, and Launceston has got ILS, so actually that's going to be an interesting little exercise, isn't it? So we can't see anything, which is good. This actually makes this a bit more fun. So let's cut back to 50% throttle. Let's trim the airplane to fly straight and level. And then while it's doing that, we will go and run a little nav map. and we'll get it to center on us, and there we are. So we need to turn to 140 degrees. So let's go and, while we're looking at this, turn the autopilot on, put it on to 140 degrees. So heading mode. Let's put it on, what height are we at the moment? 5,300 feet. So let's put it on altitude mode, and it will select the altitude we're at automatically. So let's go for 5,000 feet, and we'll go down 800 feet a minute until we get there. So it's on its way. You can see the plane is turning towards 140 degrees. So if we go and have a look, we can see now we're going 140. We've got a side wind of, actually the runway isn't at 140, is it? You can see that. If we zoom in a bit further, it's 131. It's quite common that that happens. So this actually wants to be 131. Okay, so ILS is 109.5 for Launceston. So this is nav 1, 109.50. Switch it to active. And the direction of the runway is 313 degrees. So we want to change this round to 131 degrees. No, 313, what am I talking about? 313, I thought that made no sense. 3, 1. So it's going to be about there. Okay, so we can see we're flying out on our path there. I mean, we can use GPS as well to do the same trick, but we're not going to bother. We'll just flick across the little nav map because it's a little bit more visual. So we're above the cloud at the moment, at 5,000 feet, just above the cloud. And it's still, the stars are still out. It's very early in the morning in Australia. It's probably 6 o'clock or something. Local time. So we'll come out to the end of the ILS feather, and then we'll chase it back in. So we want to turn back round to 313 degrees. So we can cheat here, look, because we can just use we've already aligned the HSI course. We can just change the heading bug to match it. Slow down a bit to make sure we make the turn in time. And we'll also, while we're at it, we'll set altitude select to 4,000, or say 4,000 feet, and say we'll come down 1,000 feet a minute. So you can see the vertical speed has changed. We're dropping now. So we're holding 160 knots. The Lancair Legacy is very fast. Let's have a look. So we want to stop our turn. So we intercept the ILS beam. In fact, we don't get the vertical component of the beam on here. We're going to put it onto nav 2 as well. So 109.5. There we go. And we can see that. And we want to change the omnibearing selector to be... Actually, it won't make any difference, to be honest, for the ILS. But if we look across it here, this is saying we're above it. So let's just do it from here now. Okay, this is interesting. I don't appear to be able to move the... So we can use nav 1 for the horizontal alignment, and we can use nav 2. Here comes the horizontal alignment, so we'll dive. The only thing wrong with this aeroplane is it doesn't have okay, so we now turn towards the airport. It doesn't have air brakes, so we can't dive kind of like Stuka style, unfortunately. But I put the flaps out, so that's helping us a lot. So we're diving towards the floor. Here comes the ILS. So pull the nose up a little bit. We're just above the ILS beam. So we should find by the time we come out of the cloud that we're pretty much on the ILS approach. Open the engine up. We're a little bit low. Now we're a little bit to the left, so we'll turn back right. Unfortunately there's no DME by the look of it, which is a bit annoying. So we're just following the ILS in. A little bit all over the place. I've done this for a while. Just shows if you don't practice things. Coming down through 1,300 feet. I can't remember what the ground altitude was. I should have checked that, shouldn't I? Coming down to 1,000 feet. So I'm basically scanning the artificial horizon, the compass, also nav 1, which has got a kind of a compass on it, and nav 2. We're high. And there's the runway. So it did work. Very cool. And obviously once you get sight of the runway you can use it as your reference instead of the ILS. It's a lot easier. So cut the engine and flare. And we're down. So yeah, interesting circuit at Launceston in Tasmania. It's a misty morning in Tasmania. We're not going to make that exit. So I'll put the flaps up. We'll go for the next exit. There's one just over here. Yeah, here we go. Look, cloud's broken at 100 feet. So we must have come through the bottom of the cloud layer at 100 feet, which was fun. And let's rotate this back round. Should go and park up by the steps over there. Wonder where that guy's going. Hello. There you go. early morning flight at Launceston in Tasmania in Prepar3D using Orbex base and vector and active sky for the weather. So it's absolutely accurate as to what's going on right now in the real world, or at the time of recording this video anyway. I'll stop the video there.